We've got a lot of cameras and a lot of flashlights going right now. Well, as you can see right now, we are not in the bus. This is not necessarily the video that we want to be making right now.
I feel like I've been...
Well said. We actually just left the bus on the side of the road in Georgia.
And not a secure spot in the middle of the road until the tow truck comes, so...
It's actually
literally in the middle of the road.
I'm not Catholic though.
If this is your first time and you're just clicking on this video, we're Tyme and Andy.
I'm Andy. She's Tyme.
We converted a school bus and we travel around.
Until things came to an end pretty quickly, and that's what this is about. So we were out west. We had just traveled pretty much done a lap around the entire country, and on our way back to the East Coast, we wanted to settle back down in Savannah, Georgia. We really loved that area the first time that we passed through there. We had talked about like where we want to spend the winter, and we thought maybe coming back to East Coast. That's where our family is. We have family up in New York, so we talked about maybe going back up there, visiting them for the holidays.
I guess the idea of heading back to Georgia was what we had in mind for like the past couple months.
That's what we were doing. We were on our way back. We had just left Birmingham, Alabama. We were passing through Atlanta, and that's when the worst happened.
The unimaginable thing hit us.
So we were coming through Atlanta, and we hit traffic in Atlanta. Nothing out of the ordinary. Until when we started to move again, the bus just didn't move. My foot was literally going to the floor, and you could just hear the thing revving, and I was moving at like 20 miles an hour, which if you've ever driven through Atlanta, you know that the drivers are not very forgiving around there. I don't even remember what road we were on, but it was one of the main highways, so I tried to pull over best I could, try to get out of the highway so we didn't die.
I was behind him and did see smoke coming out and going 30 miles an hour. Nothing worse. I remember seeing a ton of smoke, and he was not moving very fast, so I think I FaceTimed him and was like, pull over.
So I pulled over as quickly as I could, got out, and I obviously immediately checked the transmission dipstick, and it smelled like burnt toast, pretty much.
Avocado toast. I was like, oh, that smells good. And then I went, there's smoke coming out of the back of the bus. That's not avocado toast. That's
So I let it sit there on the side of the road for a little while, cool down. I wasn't even really sure what to do. So I just started calling around to different mechanic shops, just trying to get an idea of if I could get this thing in today. This was on a Friday night, so even if we got this thing into any shops, it would still probably be over the weekend before the mechanics could even look at it.
And we'd be homeless, living out of the Mustang.
Yeah, so that means for the next few days we would just be, I really don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what our option was. Luckily, we had already had a spot booked for that night. That was where we were heading. It was between Atlanta and Athens in like the Lawrenceville area, like maybe 40 minutes outside of Atlanta. And that was where we were planning to head for the night. So after calling around to a couple shops, I guess it was a gamble. So we're now right off the bat here, either we're booking a hotel for over the weekend and spending money even before we get the bus in the shop, or we can try to make it to our spot here in Lawrenceville.
Sleep, and hopefully the problem was going to resolve on its own in the morning.
Yeah, we can just hope that it magically fixes itself, you know? Maybe just a fluke thing. Maybe it's all good.
I was honestly just hoping that she, I don't know, maybe it was just constipation or something. Like she'd get over it.
Yeah, maybe we'd sleep it off and it would all just be a wild dream.
Yeah. It wasn't. It was not a wild dream.
Yeah, we had already had a long day of travel, so at this point we were just exhausted.
And didn't really want to think about the bus being kaput.
I turned the bus back on, tried to start moving. I was going to move in a direction and then figure out what direction that was going to be once we started rolling. And actually, surprisingly, the bus got back up to speed fine. So I think this is where the video ends, you know? The bus magically fixed itself. Transmission's good. Transmission, it's not fixed. The good news is we were actually able to get back up to highway speeds. I was moving about like 65, so that was fine. The issue now was when we came to a stop. Every single time we would make a stop, you'd feel it shift really rough, and then if I try to get moving again, you would feel it rev really strong, and then it would just like jerk into motion and then start going. So you could tell it was having some issues. So we were getting closer to our spot there in Lawrenceville, and then we could at least have the weekend to make sure we're getting into a good shop and not just the first shop that answered me on a Friday night. You know, because I guess with any mechanic shop, if you look desperate at all, they will make sure that they
gonna run that bill up. They gonna add and add. And surprisingly, after 40 minutes, slowly but surely, we actually did make it to our spot. No other issues. Luckily, we weren't left on the side of the road. None of the conditions got worse.
So the idea of it being tomorrow's problem was very nice. So nice that we actually booked the same spot for another 3 weeks until we dealt with it. So we spent the 3 weeks in Lawrenceville living life and hadn't really addressed this issue yet.
Remember how we were talking about visiting family, coming up for holidays, doing all that?
Well, now with this looming thing this dreary cloud that kind of looked like it was going to be more set in stone.
So the plan was to drive our car, enjoy the holidays, leave the bus down in Georgia, and then do holidays, see family, and then after the holidays and the high of Christmas and the sugar, we were gonna deal with this issue. So that was the plan.
Worry about it in the new year. Although where we had the bus parked, we didn't want to have to pay full hookups while we were gone. For water, electricity, we didn't need that. So luckily the spot that we were staying at, the guy would let us just move it over to a little storage space and we could park it there. Now this is where things got a little tricky. The spot that we wanted to park the bus on this guy's property, we basically had to leave the spot we were in, come down the road, and then there was like a Y turn, and we have to take the left down the Y. Unfortunately, the bus was too big to take that left from that angle, so we'd have to come at it from the other way around.
And let me just paint the picture here. We were doing this the day of that we were supposed to leave the next morning. We knew we had to move the bus at the end of the night to take off early the next morning.
So when you pull outside of this driveway, we took a right, and you kind of dip down a pretty steep hill in this little valley. There's a sharp turn, and then it turns right back up the hill into the grocery store parking lot. It's not far of a drive, maybe a quarter of a mile.
Yeah.
So we figured if the bus has anything left in it, this shouldn't be that hard. Unfortunately, that might be where I'm wrong. So we ended up pulling it out. We get it onto the main road. We get down the hill. We do the bend. Now going up this hill, so I was a little worried. We push through it though. Transmission shifts rough, but it makes it. We get to the grocery store. We turn that thing around. And now we're back down the hill. I just wanted to coast this thing, but unfortunately it's a really sharp turn, so slow down a little bit, and make it around the turn. And now the big hill. We're chugging up this thing. At first I have a decent speed, maybe 35, and then it's 30, and then it's like 20. And now we're at like almost the peak of this hill. I have my foot to the floor, and we're no longer moving. We are now stuck on the hill, completely still, with the bus revving its engine as loud as it can, and it's not shifting. We are stuck.
And the turn at the bottom did have oncoming traffic. I mean, this wasn't a road that cars were not flying up.
20,000 pounds on the way to this hill right now. So, and she was in the bus next to me. So I yell at her just to go get outside and just run down there as far as you can, just to wave on traffic so no one comes flying around the corner and runs in the back of the bus.
So slowly but surely, we started just coasting down the hill. I jump out, I run down the hill, stop a van that was coming head on, and slowly waved him all the way back down the hill.
Yeah, luckily at the very bottom of the hill, there was a little dead-end street. So I literally just backed up, rolled right into it, and I kind of sat there for a second and tried to see what our options were, because we just wanted to get to the spot where we could park the bus and then worry about our problems later.
It's already dark.
So the left of us is the hill back to the grocery store. To the right of us is an even steeper hill. I tried to think about if I could go back around that left hill, but then I realized that from the other side of the road is an even steeper hill on the other side. So there was no way we could actually get to our spot.
So at this point, I was thinking, okay, our whole surprise trip is gonna be postponed. There's no way we're gonna be able to leave in the morning. Like, now we're gonna have to call a tow truck. We're gonna have to get a different spot. We need to go get a hotel for the night. We've got, everything's unplugged, everything's packed up, clothes are in the bins. Like, I didn't think we were making it home for the holidays.
The guy that we were staying at, the one who's going to let us park and store the bus there, we talked about the idea of towing it back up the hill, pulling it up into there, and get it situated for storage. The only issue with that is that hill is so steep that I think any of our tow cables would bottom out on the peak of it. Also, where we were storing the bus was kind of like down in a little ravine in the woods too. So even if we did try for hours and we got the bus finally into there, getting it back out of there in the New Year's would probably just be impossible. So that's when we called a tow truck. And of course, just like last time, this is probably now 9 o'clock, and we are calling around to everyone to get this thing towed. Most people were busy, most people didn't answer. So now, just like last time, we are struggling to find someone who could actually tow our bus. We finally got a hold of one shop, and they said that their tow truck wouldn't be available till probably about 1 or 2
in the morning.
That's great, because we were planning on hopping in our little Mustang and driving up to New York at 4 in the morning. It was about like a 15-hour drive from where we were, so we wanted to get an early start in the day, knock it out in one shot. Now all of a sudden that was not looking as fun as it originally sounded.
So we knew that the tow truck wasn't coming till the middle of the night. Do we stay here until 2 to make sure that our bus is actually taken care of and someone actually comes and gets it? Because I don't want to leave it in the middle of the road. Or do we pack our car up now, go get a few hours of sleep at a friend's house, and then hope that the tow truck actually made it to our bus?
So we left the bus on the side of the road.
It just feels like even weirder, like leaving it in the dark too.
Yeah.
Like if it was daytime.
We were looking for a spot to stay. Luckily, we had a friend that was about 40 minutes from there. So we loaded up this little car with pretty much everything we owned and all of our valuables. Told the tow truck driver to give us a ring when they were about to pick it up. And we just left the bus on the side of the road. goodbye.
I'm not saying goodbye. We don't like goodbyes. We just like, see you later. It's the weird feeling of we're 15 hours away and someone's gonna be going in and out of our home with our stuff, and that's what I don't like.
Yeah, we're not gonna be there.
Nope.
Or anywhere close to it.
All right, we gotta go. It's getting late.
We then ended up getting to our friend's house probably around midnight. The thing is, though, if we want to do this New York trip, we got to leave bright and early in the morning.
So we just decided that a couple hours of sleep was gonna be fine. We'd make it through and then get to our spot in New York and figure it out then.
And I was trying to get any sleep that I could, but then I was also trying to stay up for this call, so.
Because we were a little paranoid. Like, we left our home on the side of the road with the keys.
I left my phone ringer on, waiting for the call, set our alarms for 4 a.m. and tried to get some sleep. And then we woke up at 4 a.m. and I didn't have any phone calls. That was now slightly concerning.
We never got a phone call. We like got our clothes back on. We're like, do we go and make sure that the bus is there? Do we call? You did call we called the tow company at 5 in the morning, right before we left. Turns out he actually did try to call us. The phone number didn't work.
Somehow I gave them the wrong phone number.
But she was picked up. EMTs came and got her and
yeah, so the bus is now, apparently, from their word, is now in the shop. We were talking about it with a few other people, and I asked how long a bus transmission would normally take to fix, and some said, a couple days, and then a few other people said, probably a few weeks. Right now, we've made it up to New York, and we have no clue on how long this thing's going to take. The shop said that they're going to try to just flush the fluid, put some new fluid in, and see if that works. If that doesn't work, then it's going to be an all-new transmission. And a new bus transmission is probably going to cost more than the bus itself ever did. And that's where the story leaves off.
Happy holidays. I guess we're here now. Hey, gotta eat some turkey, gotta stuff that stocking, and then I'll worry about it when I get home.
Merry Christmas.
Welcome back to another coffee time with Tyme. It's cold out here.
We are in Schenectady, New York. The novel Biblio Brew today. And it's what, like 12 degrees out right now?
A little cold.
A little chilly.
But it's sunny. It's
this
pretty.
This is a very Christmassy atmosphere. Look at this right here. Little downtown Christmas. Very nice.
Happy holidays. They have a bunch of books, super charming, super Christmassy. It's snowing out, but it is sunny and beautiful. Merry Christmas to all of those. Happens in a couple days, but I got a sugar cookie iced latte with oat milk, and I love sugar cookie. Love it. So I'm hoping this is good. It's got did have some sprinkles on top, little sprinkles on bottom. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Man, this is good novel. I'm gonna go 7-8. See you next time.
I guess if you made it to the end of this video of us complaining about all of our problems,
then maybe subscribe. It is the holidays. We might need a little extra warmth and love.
Maybe we can afford a new transmission if you do. All right. See you in the next video. Got a lot of flashlights on right now.
This video is how we move out of a bus into a Mustang.